Hi guys, welcome back to the Honey Podcast. I am Vivi, and today we have some very special guests with us. We have Anna and Aman, and
Hey.
about Marvel. We're all super passionate about it, and thought it would be fun to have a talk about our favorite movies, characters, theories, and more. So Anna and Aman, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the Honey Podcast.
Of course. So glad to be here.
Obviously. Thank you for having us.
So why don't we start talking about our favorite movies? Like, what's your favorite MCU movie?
That's a hard question.
It's a hard
That is
question.
a question. I don't know that I have a favorite.
Yeah.
I really like the Iron Man movies, but specifically I really like Iron Man 3. And then I think Captain America and the Winter Soldier is like one of the best MCU movies. Like everything about that movie is just so good. I feel like I have like a top 5, not like a this is my favorite movie.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
I would say mine is probably like I don't have a specific order, but I really like The Avengers has a very special place in my heart because it's like the very first MCU movie that I watched.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah, I like remember perfectly going to the movies and watching it. So it's really special, and I'm like, oh, The Avengers.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh. I really like the Captain America movies. I don't know why. Like, there is no reason. I just love them, especially the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
But it's a
It
good
is.
movie. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's such a strong movie that, like, I feel like it's in everybody's, like, top favorites.
Probably.
Yeah,
And even, like, people who don't like Marvel love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, like, a single person that's like, oh, yeah, I don't really like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like, I feel like everybody at least, like, has that movie somewhere at the top of their list just because it was so well done.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. I was surprised that you
Yeah.
said Iron Man 3 because I know a lot of people don't like it. Like if they would
Yeah, no,
Iron Man movie.
I know that's a very popular opinion that like people don't like the third one, but I really like the third one. I don't know. I think it's fun, but
I have like the same feeling with
other girls, you know.
I have the same feeling with Age of Ultron because I love it, but I know a lot of people don't really like it. I really don't understand why because I think it's a great movie.
The one thing that I don't like about Age of Ultron is the fact that they killed Pietro.
Yeah.
I will never get over that one.
What was the point?
There was literally no need for them to kill him off. Like they literally could have kept him around. It was such a waste of a character.
Yeah, no, like
they were like 5 seconds in the MCU and then they were like, bye.
Yeah, plus like they cut out a lot of his scenes. Like if you see the extra credit, like not, like extra scenes, he had more scenes, and I'm like, why? You were already gonna kill him. Just leave his scenes.
Yeah.
You get Aaron Taylor Johnson to play this character that everyone loves, and you kill him off, and you cut off all of his scenes.
You bring him back. You don't even spoilers for WandaVision.
Spoilers.
like I like that they brought in Evan Peters. I thought that was fun, but I feel like they should have brought back like MCU canon Pietro. I think that would have been like really nice for everybody to see.
And then just what they did with Evan Peters, that was already disappointing.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. Like, yeah, no, like it was sad. Like I really thought they were gonna bring like X-Men and MCU like finally like to collide, and they were like, we're just like messing up with you, and I'm like, why are you like this? Why?
Why are you doing this to us? It hurts.
And I think it might have partially been like everybody's own expectations, because you know, like, and we did this too. I mean, we were throwing around theories like all the time while waiting for the new episode. So I feel like it was partially like everybody got themselves really hyped for like, yeah, they're gonna like bring the X-Men in because it's Evan Peters and this and that, and it was just like this throwaway little like, oh, he's not actually Pietro, you know, none of
It
it
was
was
a joke.
actually real. So yeah.
Yeah, we
It
were
was
all
all for a
expecting
joke.
that. Yeah. I just saw all these theories on TikTok, and like us on our group chat, we were like, "Oh yeah, because like this theory and that theory," and they was like, "Nah, nothing is gonna happen. Like you're all expecting way too much."
Yeah.
Yeah, and like some people were like so creative with it, and like some of the theories, I was like, how did you even connect these dots and get that? And then I know when like
Right.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was airing, everybody was like, relax with the theories because you're gonna get your expectations up again, and it's not gonna be like what any of us expected. So I don't know, I thought that was really funny.
I know my only expectation
At
for
least we learned our lesson with
Yeah.
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I only had one expectation, and it was to see Steve, and I didn't get that. I wanted to see what actually happened to him because, like, they're only saying he's gone, but for Marvel, saying he's gone is like very little explanation. Like, I need more.
Right.
Tell me what happened to him because he's not, as far as we know, he's not.
I know he's not on the moon.
Yeah, we know he's not in the movie.
Tell me
Enough.
he is.
Yeah,
I want to know where he is though.
yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
If he
Makes no
died-
sense.
if he died, I want to see like his funeral. I want to see what happened, but I don't think he's
I
dead.
really thought we were getting a funeral with, because you know in they showed like that clip of I don't even remember what it was a clip of that they showed, but everybody was like, or no, it was because of the title of the first episode. Everybody was like, "Is this a funeral? Like what's going on?"
Yeah, and like the first clip they showed us, it was when Sam gives up the shield, and they have like
Yeah.
a really big photo of Steve. We were all like, "Oh yeah, that's the funeral," and like
Yep.
it wasn't.
And then
It was
wasn't.
just a museum
It's
exhibit.
really interesting
We
that they
were
did
fine.
Steve, like in this show, because it's all about like Captain America and his legacy and all of that. Like I thought they would have at least shown something to be like, yeah, this is, you know,
Right.
this is where Steve's going, like this is how we're moving forward from that. So it was really interesting that they didn't do that.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was because like having Steve on it would like bring out the attention from Sam becoming Captain America.
Yeah.
But
No, I definitely
Yeah.
like still I would have liked to know what happened to him. Like because saying he's gone doesn't say anything.
it's not much of an explanation.
In MCU speech, that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, no,
That's
like
not, yeah.
he's gone. Gone. Like is he dead? He's gone to the moon.
On the moon.
I don't know.
It just I just wish like sometime that's one thing I hate and love about Marvel is that they really know how to do their stuff. Like
Right?
They're really good at like obscurity and making you think you know what's happening,
yeah,
but you don't.
and leaving you
Then
with
again, they can hide stuff from their own actors. Like
Yeah.
hiding from us is not
Like-
that much of a stretch.
yeah. Like how do they hide
I
stuff from their
anything, I promise.
it's crazy how like crazy the MCU is. It's just so many things happening. Like my parents are right now watching some movies from the MCU and they never understand what's going on. I have to explain them like, well, this happened and so now this is happening and they're like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, it makes
What?
sense.
Yeah.
But like they don't want to watch the like all movies, so I made them like a small list of the important ones. But like they watched the Winter Soldier and didn't understand who the Winter Soldier was, and I'm like, it's Bucky,
Lucky.
That's kind of a big deal.
and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, they were like, we thought it was the other
First
guy. And I'm like,
Captain America, right?
Sam, what?
Did they watch the first Captain America?
Yeah, they watched the first Captain America. Like they watched First Avenger, Iron Man,
Yeah.
the Avengers, Civil War. No, Winter Soldier. Then they still have to watch like the rest of them. But like up till now, the last one they watched was Winter Soldier, and they are not really understanding what's going on.
But they saw the first one. Like they saw who Bucky is.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's Bucky, and they're like, oh, the friend, right? And I'm like, yeah, but like he's not a
Yes.
friend in this movie. I'm like, he's bad at the movie, but they don't really get it.
Reveal was so good though. Like I remember watching that in theaters for the first time and like losing my mind.
It's such a good movie.
Right.
I remember like
So,
when I saw that it was Bucky, I was like, oh my God. I lost my mind. I was like, no way.
because I'm not like, I don't know a ton about the comics. I think I know more now, just because I've like looked into it more. But like at the time, I had like no idea how that storyline with the Winter Soldier like goes. So watching
Same.
it for me, it's like, oh my God, like that's Bucky! I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
What just happened?
I'm trying to like look for comics because I want to get more into that, but I haven't found a place here who sells comics. So I'm like pretty upset
I
about
know
Same.
they're like online and stuff, like there's places to read it online, but I just feel like it's so like, because obviously like Marvel comics have been in print for so long, like I feel like it's so overwhelming. I don't know where to start and I'm just
I
like,
know.
Exactly.
Like, what's the first one? How do I read it? Because like it has so many like little stories in between the stories that I don't know where to start. Like there's
And they have different universes. Like
yeah.
there's the same character existing in 5 different versions of
of
Earth.
the
And
yeah, there's like different stories for the same character and like different canons and stuff, and I just know we're gonna get somebody being like, y'all are fake fans, you've never read the comics, that. So
I'm like, I'm an
Stop.
MCU fan. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get into the comics, but right now I'm an MCU fan only, okay?
And
and
we've
like,
established from the beginning, we are talking about the MCU. We're not talking about the comics.
well, yeah, let's make that clear. We're talking about the MCU and like no gatekeeping here. You can still be a fan only if you've only seen the movies, if you've only read the comics. Like we're all Marvel fans here. We're all here for a good time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, who's your favorite villain?
Ooh. I really like Hela from Thor.
Yes.
And I really like Quentin Beck just because I think Jake Gyllenhaal's pretty. But
Fair.
he's a really good villain.
I love Loki. He's my all-time.
Me too. He's my favorite character in the MCU.
One of my favorite characters. Yeah. Yeah, I just love his sarcasm. Tom Hiddleston is just beautiful. Like
yes.
I love that man. But yeah, I'm like really excited for Loki coming out next week.
I know. I feel like it's gonna be such a good show.
I think it's gonna be a great show.
Right.
Because like everything can happen. Like
I know.
We're talking about time travel. Literally anything can happen.
This is gonna be like redemption arc Loki, you know? So like it's gonna be like original like Loki, which is gonna be so much fun to see. And I've said this before, like we've talked about this. I love that they cast Owen Wilson like opposite him, because I feel like that's such a good pairing. Like I think Owen Wilson was the perfect guy for that role.
Definitely,
yeah. I think I have really high expectations for Loki, just because like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier were so good. So I feel like Marvel's in a strike right now. Like everything they're doing is just very good. So I'm really expecting a lot from Loki. Yeah. But yeah.
And I feel like also Marvel knows how like beloved of a character Loki is, so I feel like they're like gonna do this show justice, just even based off like the trailer. Like it just looks like it's gonna be so much fun and so amazing. I'm really excited.
I'm really excited.
I'm counting down the days here.
Yeah.
It's funny that I'm literally gonna be like traveling when the first episode drops, but it's fine.
That was me when the last episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier aired.
Yeah,
I was traveling and I couldn't watch it, and I just couldn't use social media because I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get spoiled everything. So
right.
People are so quick with the spoilers, and I'm just like, oh, gotta keep scrolling.
Stop!
Like, some people don't even give warnings, because I appreciate people who are like, okay, spoiler coming, so I don't see it.
Yes.
There's people who just like post it any notice, and I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I feel like it's like common courtesy, like at least for the first couple of days, to be like, yeah, spoiler warning. Like if it's been like
Yeah.
a week or two, I get it, you know, like I'm not gonna ask you to tag your spoilers after like that long. But I feel like if it's like the day the episode dropped, you could put a spoiler warning. Like,
Yeah.
It's the
Like-
least you can do. Like,
But,
take
like-
2 seconds to say spoiler warning.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
I'm in like a bunch of Marvel group chats and stuff like that. And there's like
yeah.
rules that you cannot post like the first, I think, 2 days about it.
Oh, I like.
You have to let people
I like
watch it
Love
before.
that.
Like, and if you post
Yeah.
about it, you get kicked out of the group chat. So I think that's awesome because
Yeah.
Oh,
because it sucks to have like spoilers because I got spoiled Infinity War and it sucked.
oh no.
Oh my god.
Because I was gonna watch it with this friend, but she was like in Canada for a month. So I had to wait a month to watch it. So obviously everyone had watched it.
Wow.
And I got spoiled. Like I already knew, like obviously I didn't know. I mean, if you haven't watched Infinity War, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give a spoiler. But like I didn't
Even
know
though the movie's been out for a couple of
died.
years.
I just knew Spider-Man because I literally saw the scene of him.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that. And someone told me also that Loki died at the very beginning. So, but like,
That was
he was
That was not okay for either of those.
no. So I came to the movies, and when Loki died, I wasn't shocked, but I was crying. Like I knew it was
Yeah.
coming,
Yeah.
but
yeah, but you know like the how and the yeah.
and then when Spider-Man died, it was. I think I've never cried that much.
I don't
I'm right there with you.
in a movie theater like that. Like ever. The way that I ugly cried during Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
Endgame.
That
Oh
was
the way I cried. I went to watch it with like some friends who are like die-hard Marvel fans, just like me.
yeah.
And like we
That's the
just
way
kept
I-
looking at each other every time something happened. And when Iron Man died, I sat there and I was just like,
I was sobbing.
I will not do
Iron-
anything for the
my
rest.
favorite character. Yeah, Iron Man's my favorite character in the MCU. So when he died, I was literally like hyperventilating, like sobbing in the theater. I was like, oh my god. It was
Why
so
did
bad.
you do this?
Yeah,
It
I
was so
couldn't believe they. Because
I was literally like, how dare you do this to my comfort character?
like, okay, take
Have him retire. You didn't have to kill him.
they
Yeah.
both killed Natasha, and I thought that was gonna be like it. I thought that was gonna be
Right.
and then they kill Iron Man, and then they make Steve stay with Peggy and become old, and I'm like, no,
Not over that.
not good.
Not
They-
over
they
that.
No.
Really
I was-
said, we're about to undo all these years of Steve's character so we can go
Literally.
back to Peggy.
Exactly.
I know
Character
that some
development. We don't know her.
Yeah, no.
I know that some people are okay with that like character choice and like oh, Steve deserves to be happy and go back, but like he was happy in the present. Like they made a really big deal of that in the more recent movies about how like he was finally getting comfortable in the present time. Like obviously it was going to be different because he was like a man out of time like that, but like to have him go back, it just because it not only messed up like his own story, but I feel like it also messed up Peggy's. I don't know if you guys watched Agent Carter, but like
I did, yeah.
she had her life, she had her her own like love interest and like all of that. So I'm just like I don't see what the need was for that. And then it just felt like they kept trying to like explain their own movie, like the time travel and that whole timeline thing in that movie was kind of confusing.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Like,
still don't know exactly how it all worked. I still
It's
don't.
too hard. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, me neither. And like now Steve will be a man out of time again, like going back to his time, but like he already
Right.
future. So like it didn't make sense for him to go back. Like
And it doesn't
Yeah,
make sense because like he knows everything that's gonna happen in the following 70 years.
yeah, it just
And he's just gonna sit and do nothing. That doesn't sound like Steve Rogers.
no, not at all.
Especially like with like he literally just spent like what 2-3 movies fighting for Bucky And then you're telling me he
Yes.
goes back in time, knowing what happens to Bucky, and he doesn't do anything about it. Because then,
Exactly.
and
Right?
this is then the problem that comes up, because then Marvel's like, no, well, he created like a different timeline, so that doesn't happen, so it's different. But I'm like, but that wasn't explained. Like, they didn't do. I don't think
Yeah.
they did a very good job of explaining
Definitely.
how exactly that works with Steve going back and it being like a different timeline, you know?
Yeah, it
Exactly.
like,
It
and like
was crazy.
they've
I
explained
didn't
Yeah.
like it.
like the problems to open another timeline is. Like they've said how
Yeah.
big it is, and Steve just casually makes another timeline so he can
Yeah.
with a girl who he kissed once.
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 Like
We have an entire series coming up about time travel and how that's gonna mess up the timelines. And
Yeah.
that's what they
and
just
just
one of
Steve
their
doesn't.
most beloved characters.
It's so stupid. He could
Yeah.
be happy
But
in the future. He didn't need to go back to Peggy. He saw Peggy.
yeah.
Peggy died. He knows how Peggy dies.
Like he moved on, you know? Like
Right.
they really did like a big thing of showing how much he'd moved on, and like how he was slowly starting to get comfortable in this timeline. And then you're telling me he's just going to go and jump back 70 years and like live his life like that over again. Like it just seemed very out of character to
No,
me
I
and
think
very
I
weird.
would like to see, because like it's obvious that him and Bucky had a conversation about him.
Yeah.
Because like Bucky knew, you could see it on Bucky's face that he knew.
Mhm.
I would like to see how the conversation went and what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
Even I think even in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Bucky kind of like hinted at that where he when him and
When he was
Sam
talking
were at
about the
that
shield.
section. Yeah, when they were talking about the shield, like it seemed like Bucky knew. So they definitely had a conversation about it. So I'm like, I want to like, you just spent how many movies fighting for this man, and you're telling me you're gonna just leave? I don't think so.
Yeah, no,
I
it
don't
just
think so.
fake.
It doesn't add up.
it exactly
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't add
add up. I like, and I know Marvel thinks about everything, so I'm sure they can come up with like an explanation as of why, because even like they think about little details that big fans will notice on the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't
Yeah.
think of like a good explanation to why Steve decided to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
It
yeah,
just seemed like very like out of character, like
yeah,
writing, and then it caused problems with, like we said, like the whole time travel concept just being so confusing. But I feel like Loki, I think, touches on that.
yeah.
Like
I
the
hope
whole premise
so.
of
I
that
really
is
hope
that
so.
like the timeline is messed up and whatever, and so it's kind of like that. But I feel like it shouldn't have had to be explained in a whole separate show. You know what I mean? Like I
I
feel like
mean,
if that was
Right.
the point you were trying to make in the movie, it they could have explained it a little bit better in the movie.
I think they kind of explain it a little bit when Hulk and the Asian one, when Hulk gets
Yeah.
when Bruce Banner, or I don't know,
Yeah.
what's the name of like the
Yeah.
Hulk? Is it like Smart Hulk or something like that? Like Hulk and Bruce Banner, like the one. I think it has a name. I don't remember what the name is.
No,
But
I
I
think
don't
you're
know.
right. I
anyways,
think
the
it's
point is
like,
they kind of explain
yeah, I don't
how the timeline works and how if you take something out, like it, but it's not really like a very deep explanation. So it like even though it makes
yeah.
it a little bit more clear, it's not exactly very clear.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they explained it, but I think they could have done a better job of explaining it. I just feel like it wasn't very well like
Yeah.
fleshed out. And then
But I guess
with the
it's
whole
also
thing
very
with Steve and everybody being confused, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but how does that make sense? Like how do those timelines work? Because yeah, like it just doesn't make sense for Steve to abandon like his best friend like that, knowing what happens to him in
Thank
those,
you.
70 years or whatever.
absolutely.
I felt like they rushed to an explanation that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to like condense everything into Endgame, and then
I thought they were
they
gonna
failed
like
big time.
Steve's decision
Yeah.
on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but they didn't. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get an explanation. I know there's rumors of Captain America 4. Um which in the
So
Mhm.
Sam will be Captain America because he's already
Mhm.
Captain America. So
yes,
I love
We
that.
love
I
our
love
Captain
Sam.
America.
that's
I'm
our
so
cap.
That's our
excited.
Cap. Yes.
I
Ah,
love it so much. And they have both caps. They have Sam's cap and Steve's cap at Avengers Campus,
yeah, I
which
saw.
I think is like
Oh my
so
god.
good.
I love that. I think it's such a good decision to put both of them because
Right.
Yeah, I saw someone make a really good point about that on TikTok earlier today because so like Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, like the Star Wars land, it's set in a certain like time frame of the movies. It follows a certain time frame, which kind of like stops them from having a lot more of the characters like
Mm-hmm.
in the parks versus in Avengers Campus they haven't set it to a specific timeline, like it doesn't fall anywhere specifically in the MCU story, so they're able to have like Steve's cap and Sam's cap and all these other
yeah,
characters in at the same
I
time, which
feel
I think
That
is
was such a
a
good
really
call
good
from
thing.
them.
yeah, because I also saw that like they mentioned Tony on like the web shooter game. I know Peter
Yeah,
mentions Tony. So like in that little
yeah,
Avengers campus, he's still alive and in our hearts. So I'm happy about that because
yes.
Yes.
Technically he's still alive because it's not 2023 yet,
yeah,
so
right.
until then
Right.
he's
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 still
not dead.
alive. Yeah,
He's
but
still alive. He's thriving in his cabin with Pepper and Morgan. It's fine.
it's
Everything's
fine.
fine.
I'm just gonna like pretend
Everything's fine.
he's never gonna come.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yep.
Oh my god, yeah. But yeah, I think Marvel like it's more difficult to just base like the Avengers campus in just one storyline because there's
Mhm.
so much happening
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
every single movie that it would be hard to be like
It's so like complex and it spans so long that like yeah, you like I don't think you can keep it
no,
in one specific time zone. And you know, kind of jumping off of that, can we talk about the Eternals?
please.
Because
Oh yeah.
I, I I know one of the big things that everybody's asking with the Eternals and like the trailer is like, so where were they when all of this stuff with the Avengers was going down? Like where were they when uh everyone was fighting Thanos and I like I said before, like I don't know too much about like the comics and the stories in the comics or whatever. So I like have no idea what to expect at all. But I think it's going to be really interesting to have that question answered and like
Yeah.
see how it all ties
Because they
together.
clearly know about the Avengers. Like at the end of the trailer, they mentioned like, oh, who's gonna replace
The
Captain
new,
Rogers?
yeah,
Like I,
Yeah.
yeah,
can we talk about how I love they say it Captain Rogers and not Captain America because they
yeah,
already know that
Captain. Yeah.
Captain America. Yes,
yeah.
I'm very excited about having Sam being
The
Captain.
details, the details.
That's I
The
think
little details we all love.
the details
Yeah,
make Marvel so special because they think
so
of
good.
everything.
So
That's why I was surprised they didn't make it clearer with like Steve's decision because Marvel thinks
Right.
about everything.
yeah, because yeah, usually they're like pretty good about that.
Yeah, but
Not this time.
The Eternals just looks amazing. Everything
It
about it.
looks so good. Everything about it looks amazing.
I
The
I'm so
cast
excited
is
for that
amazing.
movie.
There's like
I
so many like big names in that cast that I'm like, this is incredible.
yeah, no. Do you think
and
we'll-
it's not like something that we would have expected in 2008 when the first Iron Man came out.
yeah,
Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I was seeing
all of these names.
Yeah.
when Thor first aired, like when they were recording Thor, there was this article, I think Chris Hemsworth shared it, that was like Marvel cast no names to play Thor and Loki.
Yes, I know what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Big actors now. What?
And like now look at how far they've come. And even like with Robert Downey Jr., you know, like the MCU was kind of like his fresh start in Hollywood, like fresh
Right.
new start in Hollywood after everything that he went through. So like literally like the way that Marvel has made these people's careers something so like not I don't want to say made their careers like that because obviously you know like look at someone like Angelina Jolie, she doesn't need Marvel to make her career, but I mean in the sense of like
Absolutely.
they make these very recognizable, very distinct like roles, you know, like you know, for so many years to come, like I'm gonna look at Chris Evans and I'm gonna be like, okay, you were Captain America. Robert Downey Jr., you're Iron Man. Like
Armin.
Chris Hemsworth, you're Thor. You know what I mean? Like it's very distinctively like you see these people and it's such a big impactful role that they had.
Yeah.
Especially like for people like us where we all like grew up watching the MCU, you know? Like we were
Yes.
there for the OG 6. We're here as they're moving into the next phase. Like it's just such like a meaningful thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Because yeah, like I even watch movies just because they're there. I'm like, oh, because like Artie did
Yes.
it, I'm just gonna watch it because Artie did
Yeah.
Iron Man, you know? And when like, hey, RDJ is literally Tony Stark.
He's actually
Right?
Tony Stark. Like they, oh my god, it's incredible.
He was
I love it so
honestly
much.
the most perfect choice for this role. He is Iron Man.
He's
He
Yeah,
is Tony
perfect.
Stark.
He's
literally, it was like perfectly cast.
I feel like if the technology of the MCU was real, he would actually be Iron Man, like in
He
real
would
life.
Oh,
actually be Iron
definitely.
Man.
Like,
And I feel like he's literally on that path though, because remember, I think it was like last year or something, he announced that he was partnering with somebody to do something with like, there was like something with like prosthetic technology and like all this other, I
Yeah,
think
I
it was some
remember that.
environmental thing, I don't know what it was, but like he's literally turning into Tony Stark, which is
like I want to be Tony
so crazy.
I'm no longer in the MCU, but I am still Tony Stark.
Yeah.
That's where he's going.
That's.
So good.
I think they do like Marvel does a really good job casting. I think they're
Absolutely.
Yes.
they're always perfect. Like I couldn't imagine anyone else doing the roles each character has. Like
Agreed.
because like I've
Agreed.
And
seen
it's really cool. It's really cool that like a whole new generation of kids is gonna grow up with like the phase 4 heroes, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
our G6 was like our MCU that we grew up with, and now you're gonna have like a whole new generation growing up with like all the people from the Eternals and like Wanda and Doctor Strange and with Sam as Captain America. Like it's just so crazy to think about how far Marvel has come and
yeah
how far they're literally
Right.
still going.
yeah I feel like and it's so special because even though they're moving to like phase 4 and there's gonna be like different superheroes and all this, it's still connected to like the OG 6, you know? So I think it's so
Yeah,
special that they managed to
Yes.
make all these movies and all this universe, but still managed to connect it. Like, I don't want to shade DC, but
Here comes the shade.
watching this, look away.
sorry, DC, but I just think no one will ever do it the way Marvel does it.
The way Marvel. No, I agree. I
Agreed,
think
yeah.
Marvel's like the MCU's like world building and story building and like the continuity through all the movies is
It's
absolutely
insane.
insane.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
and then
really,
just
it's
being
really
like,
good. I'm also really excited for all like the new like phase 4, you know, heroes that we're gonna get to see. Like I'm really excited to see the Eternals. I'm really excited to see Shang-Chi. I think that's like
Yes.
I'm excited. Yeah.
so cool.
And it's weird because it's like I feel like it's the very first time where I know nothing about these superheroes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like really looking forward to like going into a movie and like not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, because like with Marvel, with like the other movies, I've always known a little bit about them and what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like with this ones, I'm like, who are you? Let me know your story. Like,
Brand new, yeah.
Please
It's
explain
so
everything to
cool.
me.
yeah, like I won't be able to explain to other people what's going on because I know nothing.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
here to
And I
learn
think
with
it's
you.
so
That's gonna be the
awesome.
first time.
I think it's so awesome that there's like all this representation too. You know, like I think
Yeah.
Marvel's got there's definitely still a long way to go, but I think Marvel's gotten like a lot better with casting people of color and like putting them in
Right.
the spotlight and like because look at the Eternals cast, you know, that's I feel like pretty diverse.
yeah.
Look at
Yep.
Kamala Khan, like Miss Marvel. Like for me as like a Pakistani girl seeing that in the MCU, like that's amazing for me. You know, like I would have loved to have that growing up. And then like with Shang-Chi having like Asian representation and
Mm-hmm.
Sam Captain America, like I just think it's so cool to have that on screen and to have that for like a whole generation of kids growing up and like
Yeah.
seeing themselves
Right.
We're
reflecting
also
on that. Because
getting
I
like,
know when I was younger, like I would have loved to see a character that was, you know, like a Pakistani Muslim like me in the MCU and not have, you know, her whole identity and whole story kind of revolve around like kind of the way they do like, you know, Muslim stories in the media. So like it's really cool to me to see stuff like that in the MCU now.
yeah. And we're also getting, is it America Chavez?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We're getting
Yes.
that. We're getting Salma Hayek in the Eternals. Like, I love that.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani
We
too, who's
love that.
Pakistani in
We
the
love that.
Eternals. I'm just like, this is awesome. It's so great.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to see how Marvel is opening up to like a lot of representation, because I feel like for a very long
Mhm.
time it was like the OG6, there was not,
They're all white.
they're all
They're
white.
all white. Yeah.
But
Like we love them, but like they're all white. There's no diversity there. Like it and I definitely think like there's still a long way to go, but I think they're making strides towards it. Like I think the level of diversity that we're starting to see is a lot more than we've gotten from Marvel in the last couple of years.
definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
I remember
Yeah.
like when I saw that Gamora, she's Latin.
Hmm.
I was very excited
Mm-hmm.
about that, because it I've
Yeah.
never, like, it for me was like new to see more Latin representation in the like superhero movies, because you always see
Exactly.
very American, and like now seeing this was like, yes, yes,
Yes. We
yeah,
have someone there.
yeah, yeah. It was very exciting,
I
and
think it's so I think it's so amazing because like you know we're all older too, like we're not like teenagers, like young children growing up and seeing this when like and I feel like the fact that it's so impactful to even us to see this kind of representation like now as adults, imagine what that's going to be like for kids that are seeing it,
Right.
you know, like they're in their formative years and they're seeing that. Like I'm so happy about it as like a 23-year-old and thinking about like my younger self and how excited my younger self would have been. Like all of these young kids, I'm sure they're like about to have the time of their lives with this. Like that it's so amazing.
Definitely.
definitely, I think that's gonna be awesome for them, really. And it's gonna be awesome for
Yeah.
everyone. Like, just seeing more of
Yeah.
the culture in like super powerful and inspiring people like the MCU heroes are. It's just gonna be,
Yeah.
yeah,
Something as
Right.
mainstream and like as impactful as Marvel. I think it's so good and I think you know our reactions show why representation matters. Like this is why it
Mm-hmm.
matters. It makes people feel like this.
yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Yeah,
Definitely.
I think I don't know. I'm just super excited to see how it turns out. I know a lot of people are a little like scared because they're not gonna see their OG heroes there, and they're gonna
Yeah.
be seeing new faces. And I think it is scary, and I'm sure for Marvel it's scary as well to just like basically all the heroes they've worked on kind of start like not throwing them away, but a little bit like the idea of just like
But
start,
like
They
making
they're taking the back seat a little bit, and
yeah,
yeah,
it's scary.
like it's scary, but I'm very excited to see what these new heroes will bring to the MCU, and I'm sure it's gonna be great.
I think it's going to be a lot of
Absolutely.
fun. I really hope that people give it like a fair chance because you know obviously like Endgame was such a huge way to like transition into a new phase of the MCU
Mm-hmm.
and like it was such a emotional and like impactful way to say kind of goodbye to that era and like you know like help us all sort of move on from those characters and those stories. um so I really hope that like people give it a fair chance instead of like comparing everything to like the
Yeah,
OG6 and to the last era and
Mm-hmm.
everything. I think there's a lot of potential in the new. I'm excited for phase 4. Like I'm excited to see all the new stories. I think they're going to be really great and like Marvel has come so far, like film technology has come so far. So I think it's going to be really really cool to see like what they do with it, to see the CGI, like Multiverse of Madness, like the second Doctor Strange
Oh
movie.
my
I'm
god.
so excited for that
Oh
because
my
I
god.
feel like it's like absolutely insane because think about like all the production and CGI that I'm getting so excited I like can't speak. All of
Don't
the
worry.
CGI WandaVision, like that translating over into these movies, I think is going
Yeah.
to be so cool.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I think Marvel does a very good job with like all the special effects and CGI and all that stuff. And now that it's improved
Yeah.
more, I'm really excited to see how they're gonna use all this new technology to make it even more real.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about everything, you know? Like
I
I
am
really
freaking
hope we
out.
like kind
I
of
hope our audience watching can tell how like enthusiastic we are because we're like flying like
Right.
now. So great. So
I
great.
feel like I'm trying to go with my like my heart open to the new heroes because what happened to me like
Same.
with Captain Marvel is that I wanted the first Marvel female lead movie was Black Widow, and it wasn't. And we got
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, and so I got super mad because I was like, "Oh my god, this character isn't even a woman in the comics. Like it's a man. Why are they doing this?" So
Yeah.
I watched the movie knowing like in my like I was like I'm gonna hate the movie. I entered the movie and I was like I'm gonna hate it. So I feel like I watched it with that idea on my mind that never enjoyed Captain Marvel, and now I don't like Captain Marvel, and I think that's because I alone put a lot of hate in it without even watching it, and now I don't like it
Yeah.
because of
You have
Yeah.
like different expectations than what you were given. So it's like,
yeah
yeah, I get that. It's really interesting. I feel like this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but I actually really enjoyed Captain Marvel. I'm like the movie itself as a character, like I feel like I'm indifferent in the sense that like she's not one of my favorites, but I'm also like not sitting here like, oh, I hate her, I don't like her, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. But I did enjoy the movie. I think it was really fun, but I also think that it was released at the wrong time. I think it should have been
Oh
part
yeah.
of phase because it kind of just turned her like same thing into a throwaway character, and it opened up all these other questions of like, okay, so where was Captain Marvel this whole time that all of this was going on with Thanos? Like where was
yeah
she the whole time with all this other stuff? So I think she should have maybe, I think if it was introduced later,
or
it
earlier.
would
Wouldn't
have
have
been a
been as
lot
bad.
better received. But I also, yeah, and I also think Brie Larson just gets a lot of hate for no reason.
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of her. Just because like I've watched interviews of her and I don't really like her personality, but that I guess that's a me thing because I know she's not a bad person and she shouldn't be receiving hate, but just like you don't connect with certain artists, and that Brie Larson is someone who I don't connect with, but that's like a personal me thing, and obviously that also influenced with me not liking Captain Marvel, but I don't think she should receive hate because she's not a bad person. Like so
Well, yeah.
she
Think
doesn't
she gets a
deserve.
lot of unnecessary, like the actress gets a lot of unnecessary hate, and it's like low key like just misogyny. Like,
I think
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but I think it's also influenced by different things. Like the first thing is none of the like Marvel actors except for Chadwick showing up to the Marvel premiere, the Captain Marvel premiere.
yeah,
I think that influenced because it made fans think other actors don't like Brie Larson. Um,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and also, I remember the one thing that made me kind of be like "Ugh," about Captain Marvel was this interview where she said like, "Oh, I make my own stunts," and Chris Hemsworth just goes like, "Well, we all make a little bit, but we don't make like the real stunts," you know? Like he kind of goes like, because I felt like she was bragging a little bit about making her own stunts and no
yeah,
credit to the actual like stunt people.
yeah,
So that kind of made me, you know, like not be mad at her, but and I just I don't know. There's so many things that I personally have conflicts with Captain Marvel, like on
yeah,
no wait, Endgame, where she kind of feels. I feel like Captain Marvel feels like a character who's superior to the rest of the heroes, and that bothers me a little bit.
yeah. Yeah,
I think
and
it
I think
was War
the
Machine
problem.
that asked her, like, where were you when the whole thing was happening? And she goes, Earth is not the only planet that needs help. Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
from
and
Earth.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I
that's your planet.
I think that's where the timing of her introduction comes in. Like, I feel like if we had gotten her movie at a different time, I don't think people would have as much of an issue with her.
I feel like
Yeah.
she shouldn't have been part of Endgame. I feel like she should have
Yeah, I think they just tried too hard to include her, and it just made her it made her seem like such a random character. Because then it was like, okay, well, where were you this entire time otherwise?
That,
yeah, definitely. Like the
because
other
she was
is
introduced in a movie that was set in the 90s. And then from then onwards, she was just gone.
yeah,
Where were you all
Yeah,
this time?
where were you the whole time?
yeah, no, like the
And
other
I don't think that's like Brie Larson's fault. And I don't, like,
no,
obviously it's the character is the way the character is. I think it was just introduced at like her movie. I mean, was introduced at the wrong time, and it just like
Yep.
had a big impact on it. But I also do think that a lot of the reason that people dislike her character is because of misogyny. Because a lot of the stuff that she does, nobody faults Tony for it. They have kind of the same
Yep.
attitude, like the same approach to things, and nobody
yeah.
faults him
And
for
same
it.
thing with
Nobody
Doctor
faults any of the
Strange.
other heroes for it.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like Iron Man or Doctor Strange have kind of the same attitude as Captain Marvel does, but they don't receive the same hate. They love the sarcastic comments from Doctor Strange or Iron Man, but they hate the sarcastic comments Captain Marvel makes. And that's, yeah, like,
Hmm.
no, I completely get
Yeah,
it. I just think,
And what do we call
I just really think they wanted so hard to introduce Captain Marvel, and they did it at a
yeah,
wrong time. And if they have done it
that? Yeah,
like
they did it too early.
season on Phase
yeah. It was
Four,
too early.
not include her on Endgame, it would be a very beloved character. They just
Yeah, I
things
agree.
went wrong with doing Captain Marvel.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
I feel like the whole era of like Infinity War, Endgame, like just plot wise and like timeline wise, I don't know what Disney was doing because they were having. I feel like they had the same issue with Star Wars with the last couple of movies in that
Oh yeah.
trilogy. Like it just seemed like the stories and the release of things were kind of very like hastily done. Um, I
Hmm.
definitely think him in Infinity War like plot wise were better than the Star Wars movies just because obviously they're following like the entire MCU. So like not in that sense, but I think like in the timing and the way that all that stuff was going down, it was just very hasty like decisions being made. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that detrimental to the MCU. Like it's detrimental to Captain Marvel, because of
yeah,
how now her character is perceived,
Yep.
but I just think it could have been planned out better.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, I guess if we've had Black Widow before Captain Marvel, I would love Captain Marvel. But because I was really expecting the Black Widow movie, which we are getting soon.
Which we are
Finally.
getting, but I feel like it doesn't belong in this phase of the MCU. Like
It
this
should
is
have
a
been,
movie like the first Iron Man, the first Cap movie, the first Thor. Like
Right.
it's the solo movie. It should have been part of the rest of
Instead,
that.
yeah.
it should have been way
Instead, what we're getting is a movie about a character that's already dead.
like we
Yeah, like I
already
feel like
know
it
so
doesn't make
much about
sense to.
her future that having
Yeah,
all this movie about her past will be a little bit weird for us, I think.
We know
yeah,
exactly where she ends. So, like, having a movie about the early days is like, why?
We
Why
should have
now?
done
Why
it
not
along
5 years
with
ago?
first Avenger and Iron Man and like the first movies, not the last ones. I just think the world wasn't ready to get a female led Marvel movie. I think that's why we
yeah,
did it at that point. And now that they've
yeah.
seen, like now that we got Captain Marvel, they're like, okay, let's get them Black Widow. But
let's keep going. Yeah.
But
Yeah, it definitely been like better placed, but I mean, I'm still excited to watch it. Like I'm
yeah,
glad that it's still
Oh
on
yeah,
I mean,
our list.
Natasha is one of my favorite Marvel characters, so I'm really excited to see like her life. I really hope they explain something about Budapest with Hawkeye because I'm really
God, I would
yes, please.
love to see that as a movie. I want
yeah,
to see that, and I'd like to see Steve returning the stones. I
yeah,
feel like that would be so good as a concept to see.
definitely that would be a great concept. I think Marvel is wasting an opportunity there.
Marvel, hire
Bring
us to
her
come
down
up.
back for one more movie. That's all we're asking.
I I want to see the twins from WandaVision back because I fell in love with
Oh yes,
them. They were so cute, and I would love to see them on
please.
screen again. Because like we follow like the Twitter of one of the twins. I don't know the name. I'm sorry, but he's so cute. Like whenever like when WandaVision won, she's like, "Yay, congrats, mom!" And I'm like, "No, so cute."
God, that
Then
was
Paul Bettany's birthday was like a few days ago, and he said, "Happy birthday, Dad," something like that, and I was like, "Ah,
They
stop
have
being
literally-
so cute! I can't handle it."
yeah. I
bring
just
back the children.
yeah. Please,
want them.
Marvel, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but if you are, please bring back the
But
twins.
if you happen to see it,
If you happen
listen.
to come across the Honey podcast, please bring back the
We're
twins.
begging you. That's all we want. We want to know that Tommy and Billy are okay. That's all we want.
Like, please.
That's all we want. All I
Because
need.
we know that Vision is out there somewhere. White Vision. But in the end, he's now Vision, I think, right? Because like Vision did something with him and now like they shared each other's memories, right? And like they're like
Like each other's consciousness or something. That whole ship of Theseus thing was so weird, but
I'm still not over that.
yeah.
it was so funny. I was like,
processing WandaVision's ending. I'm like, there's a lot happened there, and I'm still processing every single bit. Like,
yeah, no, that ending was a lot for sure.
That was
And
a
also
lot.
the ending in the Winter Soldier with Sharon as the power broker.
I
I was surprised that they
hate
went there. like-
Sharon. I've been hating Sharon ever since we met her. I don't like her. I knew she was gonna be bad, and she was bad.
I
They
literally
called
did
it
not care
all
about
those years ago.
like because again, like I feel like they just didn't develop her character that much, and I didn't really care about her. And then in the Winter Soldier, like at first I was like, okay, you seem kind of suspicious. Something's going on. Like I kind of figured that she was somehow involved with that whole power broker stuff, like especially towards the second half of the show. And part of me is like, you know, I get it because you basically like committed treason for Team Cap and then were just sort of abandoned like that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, why are you messing with Sam and Bucky? Leave them alone.
Yeah, like
Right.
your problem.
They've done nothing to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam
So
offered to help
like,
you get back to the
completely
States.
understand. I get where you're coming from. You're valid, but at the same time, stay away from our boys.
Like,
Exactly.
please let Bucky be happy. Please.
Yeah.
He deserves
For the love of everything,
enough.
please.
He's been through enough. Let him live. Let
17
them
years
live.
as a weapon is enough.
Yeah. Poor guy has been through so much. And now his best friend left him for a girl he kissed once. So, yeah, no, he deserves to be happy, and I hope Sharon doesn't ruin that for him because
I know. You know, also on the topic of Sharon, can I say, I don't know if this is going to be an unpopular opinion or not, but I didn't really care about Carly's death that much.
Oh, me neither. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she's dead? Okay.
Like, I wasn't really broken up
Fine,
about
I
it.
saw it coming.
To be honest, the Flag Smashers' whole agenda just seemed so like weird to me in the sense
It
that
was
like
so insane.
they didn't really get into it that much, and it was very much like I don't know. It was like, okay, like I get it, like they're upset that they're being displaced or whatever, but like what about all the people that actually got snapped and then came back?
Yeah.
Like it's not
They're as confused as you are.
Yeah, I feel
yes.
like they were coming from a good place, but
Yeah.
didn't think
The
through.
execution sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I get their anger, like I get why they were upset at being displaced or whatever, but like she literally resorted to like killing innocent people, and at the end of the day I was like, I don't care about your death all that much because it just like your whole thing, like their whole agenda and their whole goal sort of went off the deep end at the end. So it was kind of just like, okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, when
what
she
else?
died, I was like, okay, whatever. Like
Yeah, like I wasn't super
Okay,
broken up
I knew this
about
was gonna happen.
yeah. I definitely thought I was gonna cry a lot during Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think um I thought it was gonna be a series that they talked about Steve, and I was gonna be crying about Steve, and a lot of things. And I did cry, but I cried. What's sad is that I cried about things that actually happened. Like when they were like the
Oh yeah.
whole black like they talk about Sam and like how they were unfair just because he was black. That made me
And
Mhm.
Isaiah Bradley's entire, oh my god, that
Isaiah
entire
Bradley's
episode.
entire storyline.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my god, that entire episode was
I
so
cried my
emotional.
way through that entire episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I
Oh,
definitely wasn't the same like level of emotion as WandaVision, because I feel like WandaVision was very focused on like Wanda's emotions and grief and all of that. But with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was emotional in a different way.
yeah, because it was emotional about real issues that we live in our world. Like it's no longer just the Marvel Cinematic Universe; it's
It's not
our
just fiction.
universe. Like it's
It's
what.
like a reflection of our own universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think they did a really good job telling that story, because like sometimes like media will put it in for, and it comes across as very much like I guess forced diversity, and I don't think that's the right term to use, but like they'll kind of just put in one scene in an episode and address it then, and then like never bring it up again. But with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was like a continuing theme
yeah,
throughout the entire show. Like it didn't seem just like a throwaway sort of like, oh, we're gonna just stick it in this one episode and then we're not gonna talk about it again. Like no, it was a very, very important theme and a very important um thing for Sam as a character and for that entire story, and like continuing Captain America's legacy. Like I think it was very, very well done.
yeah, definitely. I think they did such a good job including it without like you said it didn't look forced, like, oh, we're just including it because it's a
Yeah,
real thing. It's like we're
yeah,
including it because we actually care and we want to show what's going on in the world, and I think that was very
yeah.
special.
No, I think it was really well done, and I really, really enjoyed watching it. And I'm sure for people who actually, like, for Black people who actually experienced that in real life, like seeing it translated that way in as big of a mainstream piece of media as like a Marvel show, like I'm sure it was doubly impactful for them, because it's like that's their life, they live that.
Yeah,
It's one thing for us
Yeah.
to be watching, reacting to it the way we react it, but like at the end of the day, that's not our reality. Like it's reality, but it's
Yeah.
not our reality. So I'm sure it goes back to the same thing of like representation and like feeling seen in a piece of media and feeling like, yeah, like that is part of my story, that is something that I can relate to, and that happens. And obviously, like in the case of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's not exactly like a positive thing. um like the story being reflected is not exactly a positive thing, but I think it's very impactful to see that being reflected honestly on screen.
yeah. I saw a lot of
Definitely.
like positive comments coming from Marvel addressing real life issues. So I hope they keep doing that because there's
I hope
such a
so too.
big stream like media that can show a lot, and showing these problems that are real and addressing them, I think it's very special. It just
Hmm.
it's really
Mhm.
important that they do that for everyone. So yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that made Falcon and the Winter Soldier so special, that they
Yeah,
touch real life issues.
yeah. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I mean, departing from this topic a little bit, but like it also felt like classic Marvel a little bit more, you know? Like I loved WandaVision. I think it's such a good show. I think it was great, but like I missed the sort of like action and like the nitty-gritty of like going on missions and like fighting bad guys and like action sequences because I love action movies. I love all of that. So it was kind of nice to like come back to like okay, like this kind of feels a little bit like a Marvel movie, you
Yeah,
know?
like definitely
Yep.
watching WandaVision, I felt like I was watching something out of the MCU. I It didn't feel like
Mhm.
something from the MCU, and it was really cool to see Marvel like doing a different thing. But I also loved Falcon and the
Mhm.
Winter Soldier because it really felt like a very long Marvel movie, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like when WandaVision came out, I watched the first two episodes, and I was like, this is not Marvel. I don't want to keep watching a sitcom about two characters. Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah. It was so like it was so unexpected.
I wasn't gonna watch it, and then people were
You
telling
know, I was
me, "You have to keep watching. There's a lot happening," and I'm like, "Are you serious?" Because like I watched
Wow.
the first episodes and it's just a sitcom, and they were like, "It's not," and I'm like, "Okay."
it's
And I watched
not,
episode three, and I was
you
like,
know, very like whatever about it when they first announced it. And I kind of feel like that was a little bit of like the general consensus is that nobody was like super, super, super excited for it.
Yep.
Because nobody really knew what to expect because it looked like it's just like okay, like it's a little sitcom, you know, whatever.
"Yeah,
And
like
then it
Marvel just
started
like was
it's like
also
wait,
a sitcom."
wait, what do we have here?
Yeah, it was
What
very
is going on? I don't know.
it was a different
Yeah.
perspective from Marvel.
Mhm.
But it was awesome to see how much variety they have in their like in what they do. I love WandaVision. I've watched it two times now,
Yeah.
and it just like just watching like the first episode, feeling like super sitcom, nothing happens, and you're just like very confused. And then watching the very last episode,
Yeah.
everything just connects and makes sense. It's like,
And you're just whoa.
Whoa.
yeah,
What did I just watch?
yeah, it they had to put so much thought into WandaVision to make it good
Definitely.
because I feel like
Mhm.
they just took on a very big challenge and they did it very well. But like,
Hmm.
making a sitcom, but making it Marvel, but also connecting it to the whole
Marvel and
MCU, and
you.
it,
Yeah.
it's just crazy, like all they did. And like watching, I really love that they're doing the assembled because it's amazing to watch the behind the scenes of Marvel. Because
Yeah. It's
Right.
so cool that they do that with all the shows. Like you get a glimpse into because even with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like they showed like the little like behind the scenes like thing for that, and I just it's so much fun to see and see how that whole process comes about.
yeah, definitely. And I found super interesting seeing how COVID affect them in the making of the
Yeah,
like series, like how they talk
their
about
own.
how they were gonna record in, what was it, Colombia, I think, and there was an earthquake. I don't know if it was
Oh,
Colombia. I might be wrong, but like telling us how many problems they had to make it happen and how they overcome those challenges. I found it super interesting.
Right. And I think for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they actually changed one of the um, uh, one of the storylines because it was all about like vaccines or something, and then they went,
yeah, yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, yeah, they.
COVID. Yeah,
I mean, I
Probably
think
not a good idea.
it was good that they changed it because, like, I know there's series, like, I know Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor are touching into COVID. And for me, it's just very hard
hmm
to watch it like, it's a reality, and like watching,
yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm like we're living COVID. I don't know that it needs to be brought into like media like that.
like, it's
Yeah.
my
I don't know.
entertainment. I'm trying not to think about COVID, if I wanted to think about COVID, watch the news. Like, please don't bring.
Yeah, if I'm gonna sit down and watch a show, it's because I want to move away from my reality, not see
Yeah,
it represented with
I'm
those things.
perfectly fine with shows pretending like COVID never happened. Like I'm good with that. We can move on
Yep,
from that.
I'm all for it.
yeah.
Go
I
for it.
can't pretend COVID never happened in those realities. Please don't bring it to
Yeah.
my fake realities because I don't want to see it there.
I want to be able to like 3 years from
Let me
now watch all of those seasons and just see and just not see COVID there. Like, okay, it never happened. It's
It
fine.
never
Everything's
happened.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't spend 2 years inside my own home. It's fine.
It's fine. Like, I will remember it. I don't need TV shows to bring it up. Thank you. Yeah. I think they did a good decision taking out vaccines. Like, even if they were talking about COVID, it was a good decision to take it out.
Mhm.
I was watching the other day of this theory that, you know, in WandaVision, where White Falcon, White Vision. Oh my God, White Vision and Vision are fighting, and you know,
Yeah.
Vision does this thing where he kind of like can go through things. Where he
Yeah.
why didn't he do that when Thanos was trying to grab the stone?
You know, I saw somebody talking about this too. I don't know.
Like,
I
because like
remember.
White Vision
I
tries
saw
to grab
something
the
about it,
stone,
but I
he
don't
does
remember.
that. Why didn't Vision do
Yeah.
that? I was like, hello? Like, if you
don't
had
know.
that ability, like,
Why didn't you use it?
yeah, that was
Why
my-
did you?
why. I don't understand. I would like to understand why Vision didn't. Maybe, I don't know. I like to think Thanos was controlling him or something, so he couldn't do that. But I don't know.
Could be, because I think at that point he had the reality stone or something. So like he could be just stopping Vision from phasing through anything.
You know, I feel like that's a good point. I feel like I saw someone saying something about how like it wouldn't have mattered because Thanos already had most of the stones, so he could have just gotten it anyway. Like Vision doing that didn't matter.
Yeah, like Doctor Strange said, there was one chance of, and that wasn't it.
And of course, it was the reality where everyone had to go through 5 years of half the planet being gone.
Yeah.
You know, I've been loving those TikToks that are like, if you because you know you come back, like if you disappear, you come back to the same place you were.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
these random scenarios where people are like on planes or like going through like
Popping back.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
I love those TikToks. People are so creative. Ugh.
Right.
I think that's the really cool thing to see, like with this stage of the MCU now, because like obviously TikTok is such a popular thing now. I feel like a lot of like the creatives in the fandom have this very unique way to like create content for the Marvel fandom, you know, like all the point of view videos, all the theory videos, like all of this stuff. I just feel like it's so cool to see it translated like on video on TikTok, you know, like compared to, you know, something like fan fiction or fan art and whatever. And that stuff's amazing too. Like regardless of the medium, the people who create this stuff are like so insanely talented. But I think it's very unique to see it on TikTok, just given the nature of the way TikTok is as an app.
Yeah, definitely. My For You page is full of Marvel. Most of it is Marvel. I love POVs. POVs are like my favorite thing. They're like, I love having my own story where I'm part of the MCU and I'm in love with Bucky and Bucky's in love with me. You know, like I love that. Like I feel
I
MCU.
I love everybody using that like one, you know, the party scene in Age of Ultron, and like that's in all the POV talks.
Yeah, literally, like everyone's using that scene, and I love it.
So
I am
funny.
so
So good.
down for being part of the MCU and just being your name and everyone falling in love with me. Like,
Yeah, like
Right.
I'll take part with the Avengers. Like,
yeah, or like having a love triangle with like Peter and Bucky, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I have a love triangle with them.
And
I love that. I don't
so
understand
good.
how people are so creative, but they are, and
I
I
know.
love it.
Oh my God, some
right?
people are so. I saw. What did I see yesterday? I saw a TikTok, of the scene in Civil War where Cap and Iron Man are fighting, where like he has the arc reactor and the shield up, and it was like switching back and forth in the same scene to like that, and then the comic version, and then the movie version and the comic version. Like it was just so cool. People are so creative and so talented. I'm like, I
I've been loving
literally could.
the
We could
Olivia
never.
Rodrigo ex Marvel, you know? Like there's so many
Yeah.
TikToks of Olivia
Oh my
Rodrigo
God.
songs, and
Can we take the Sour album away from Marvel creators? My heart can't handle it.
I
Like my
know,
heart can't.
like they use Trader for the scene where Steve is using the like
Yeah.
heal to get an Iron Man's arc reactor, and it's like you betrayed me, and I'm like no. Oh
Don't.
my god, the way they're making me cry with Sour and Marvel, like please
And
stop.
Taylor Swift. Before Sour dropped, it was a lot of Taylor Swift
It's
songs
all about Taylor Swift.
included in Marvel edits.
Yeah.
I think
Too emotional.
Phoebe,
My
you
heart can't
sent
handle
a TikTok with Mr. Perfectly Fine about like
it. Oh
Steve
my God,
going back in time and
yes!
leaving Bucky.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You know, my For You page,
That's the thing in the group chat. Phoebe's always making us cry with TikToks.
I think, because like my For You page is only either point of views or crying TikToks, like TikToks that will make me cry. That's it. And every once in a while, I'll get a laugh, and I'll laugh for like 3 hours about a TikTok, and then I will cry. That's it. That's my For You page.
Yeah.
And then she shares the TikTok because she wants everyone to cry with her.
Yeah, I can't cry alone, so I share my TikToks.
Exactly.
I can't cry alone. It would be unfair.
The amount of suffering that we put each other through in the group chat with all
Yeah.
these TikToks.
Like Marvel didn't put us
Unmatched.
through enough pain already. When like Marvel fans are just like, yeah, we had pain, but let me just give you some more. Let me show you
Here's a little bit
I made
stop.
later, and
Why not?
yeah, they like I guess that's a Marvel thing. We like crying and we like pain. That's it.
We enjoy suffering, what can I say?
We love suffering.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel thing.
It's
And
all about what can we say?
yeah, they know it. That's why they make us cry in every single movie. I don't know about you, but I cry in every single movie.
Me too.
Like I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching a Black Panther, and when they're fighting T'Challa versus what's the name of the other guy?
Killmonger?
Yeah, when they're fighting and they killed T'Challa, I started crying even though I know he wasn't dead, and I'm like, oh my god! And my parents were like, why are you crying? And I'm like, T'Challa died, and they're like, he's probably not dead, and I'm like, but you don't know that yet. They don't. They just.
I don't care.
I just. I love crying. Like me and say it in every podcast. We love crying.
No, you know the same thing for like, Infinity War. One of my friends was like, but you know they're all gonna come back. Like, why are you upset? And I'm like, no, but they're all gone. It's upsetting.
It's upsetting. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I just saw Peter Parker say, I don't want to go 3 times. I am not okay.
I can't. Like, I've watched the Marvel movies a billion times, and I can see them vanish on Infinity War a billion
And
times, and I will still cry. Even though I know they're coming back, I will still cry.
yeah.
I don't care. The other day I was in the plane. I was on a plane, and I just randomly remember that Iron Man was dead, and I started crying in the plane, like, and I was like so upset because Iron Man was dead.
I literally was going through, I forget what I was looking for, but I was going through my Snapchat like memories, there's literally a picture of me time stamped at like 2:07 a.m. and I'm like crying, and the caption is, "It's the crying over Tony Stark's death a year after it happened for me."
No, like I feel you so much because I would just
Like I'll still
randomly remember those.
upset about it.
Like, it's so weird because
Why?
even like just remembering where when Spider-Man vanished on Infinity War,
Oh my god.
Yeah,
and I start crying even though he's very much alive. I'm like,
very
Right.
much alive.
gone for 5 years.
You know, they also let Peter live. Like this is a child. You're traumatizing a child. Please let him live. You already took both of his father figures. This is enough. We've
Yeah.
had enough. He
He's
got
had enough.
doxxed.
Leave him
Like,
alone.
Yeah.
I am terrified of No Way Home because I know they're gonna put him through some weird,
All
horrifying,
these
emotionally
theories
charged stuff.
I'm hearing of like Spider-Man dying on No Way Home, and I'm like, you can't kill Spider-Man.
God, please no.
don't tell me that. I don't care if it's true. I don't want to hear it. Like I don't need to hear it. It's fine.
Same.
But like the same thing
Pretend that
happened.
it's
They were like,
real.
people said they were gonna kill Bucky on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he's very much alive. So I'm not believing people.
Seriously.
Theories are fun, but I feel like some people just take it and they run with it and they get so convinced of it that like when it turns out to not be true, people are
They get
disappointed.
it.
Like I know that happened with the finale of WandaVision because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, like Doctor Strange is gonna be in it and this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen," and like none of the stuff that anyone predicted
And no.
happened. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people were kind of just like, "Oh, like what kind of an ending was that?" Like just because you ruined it for yourself by having these expectations doesn't mean it was a bad ending.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ending was good. Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch was good. If you weren't expecting that, and if you wanted to see
Yeah.
Mephisto or you wanted to see Doctor Strange, well, you ruined that yourself. Don't blame Marvel.
I am sorry, that is your fault.
Yeah, literally. Like, don't blame others for your very, very, very high expectations of something. That's why,
Yeah.
I'm not
I
having
get it. It's fun to theorize and it's fun to be like, yeah, like if the story goes in this direction, it would be like so cool. But like, gotta remember that it's just a theory.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't know what happened in the writer's room. You don't know where they're taking the story. So like, calm down.
Yeah. I would love to be in the writer's room. Like on a Marvel
Right.
room. Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah. I would love to be part
So
of
good.
Marvel, even if I'm just like an assistant of an assistant of an assistant.
I
But
know.
like,
I would just
here,
love to like be involved somehow.
yeah, it would be incredible to be part of the MCU some way.
So-
Like just whatever, and having a very small opinion on something, being like, oh, I like how the dress looks, and just like that, I would
Yeah.
feel so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I was a part of that. I did that. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah, definitely. Or being
Marvel
invited.
Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we'll be all three of us
One day.
working.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Manifesting that for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it's just like in the Avengers campus. Give me that. I want to be part of the MCU some way.
I know.
All right.
So that's it for today. We're super grateful for you taking time to join us. Thank you so much, Aman, Anna. It was incredible talking to you. And we're super excited to see what's coming from Marvel. And we'll keep you guys updated. Don't forget to check Anna and Aman's articles on the Honeypot, which are incredible. And we'll see you next time with the sweetest content. Trust us, honey. You don't want to miss a trip.